So we're going to get started in just a minute. What's up, Sylvian, Garen, Michael? Yeah, I did get LASIK. These are fake glasses. I just wear them during my talks because people don't recognize me sometimes. They'll be like, who is this person? But yeah, I usually don't wear them. Hey, Tai, big fan since 2017. What's up, Rafael, Natasha, Melvin, Michael, Isaiah Rosario, Antoine, Elias, iPhone, Loy. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna share my screen and I'm actually gonna build a presentation right in front of you guys. Ryan said, Tai, your content changed my life. Sebastian said, Tai, greetings from Germany. Melvin, let's make money 2020. Okay. Let me do one thing here. I'm going to share my screen. Da-da-da. Give me a second. Okay. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. And I want to you should see a PowerPoint. So I'm going to call this PAA. You're really the first person in the world to hear this. So I hope you'll get a lot of value. So let's just start of like where we are right now in the world, you know? Without a doubt, these are troubled times. No matter where you live in the world, and even if this coronavirus passes over, we were due for a recession. Recessions in history. There's been 47 recessions in the United States, okay? 47. So this is not just about one-time events, okay? So this is not just about the corona, but obviously this is probably on your mind. The US has had 47 recessions since its founding. The first one started not long after the Revolutionary War. In fact, it was a few years after the Revolutionary War, we went into recession. And in the 1800s, it would happen often, like every 3-4 years, there'd be a recession. In the early 1900s, it began to stretch out. There was 4 or 5 years between recessions. And in I think it was 1913, the Federal Reserve was formed. The government began playing with things and trying to stop recessions. And they couldn't stop it. We still have recessions. Now they're on average every 5 to 10 years. My mentor used to say 8 to 12 years, so roughly like that. And so you're going to have to learn to deal with this in your lifetime. This coronavirus stuff goes away. There's going to be something else. And so you have to be prepared at all times. And I've been talking about this for years. And when people talk about being prepared, they have a lot of different ideas of what that means. Some people think that means stocking up on food, toilet paper, and that's fine. That is fine for emergency situations. But what about being prepared with your income? And if you look back through these 47 recessions in US history, most people get screwed. The last recession was 2008. 6 million people lost their homes. People became homeless. People were foreclosed on. People were screwed over, right? And so the average person gets screwed over. And if we diagnose this, okay, what happens? And it's pretty simple. It is when you have one source of income, you're very vulnerable. It'd be like if you only had one source of water. If you look at the United States and other countries too, the reason it's hard for the United States to run out of water is we literally have millions of sources of water, whether it be from mountain glaciers, from rainfall, from rivers, from underground springs, from aqueducts. it makes you robust. But when it's funny how people go to school, they get a major, which is like one thing they get really good at, and they go work for a job. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm not saying there shouldn't be people who focus, because you do want to focus. But for me, I'm never, ever, I made a vow to myself, I'm never going to have one source of income. I don't want to be vulnerable. I want to be prepared. Now, over the last 5 years, I've been presenting to people different ideas on how they could create an extra stream of income, part-time or full-time. Some people want to quit their job, some people don't. Some people have a stay-at-home mom or stay-at-home dad, spouse. One person goes to work, the other person stays home. They can become the second source of income. Especially now, it's important. You got two people living together, make sure both people have a job. Even if one's taking care of the kids, there's still a few hours, unless you got brand new newborns. You know, these are the laws of the jungle. And they're not the greatest laws. I wish they weren't this way, but you're going to have to do it. If not, there's 47 more recessions coming. You know what I'm saying? So, hold on one second here. Okay. So ideas. What can you do right now? What could you do this week, this month, this year to start to diversify your income? And there's been lots of ideas that I've presented. Hundreds of thousands of people have taken me up on those ideas and started businesses. My online programs, I'm pretty sure, I don't think there's anybody even close to as many people who have purchased the training that I've done. And I've done, SMMA, social media marketing agency. I show people how to do e-com, real estate. Okay, we show people how to do what's called an e-com agency. It's different. Showed people how to do Airbnb and how to rent out places that you don't even own. And those are just a few ideas that we've shared with people over these years. Another one is called DSMC, how to start a marketing consultancy where you get paid for ideas, okay? So these are just 6 ideas that I've shared. Well, I've got something new, because each idea that I have appeals to some people's skill set, doesn't appeal to others. But let me share with you a very simple business that will work, in my opinion, because I do it. So just to be clear, this is not a theoretical thing. I'm not a college professor that's just going, well, maybe this will work. Like, this works for me every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year right now. And it's working through these troubled times that we're in right now. Okay, so what I call it is a PAA. Okay, and I'm going to explain more what that means, but let me give you a little background, okay, just in case you don't know. So for me, I grew up, single mom. My dad was in prison when I was born. He was at a prison called Terminal Island in Long Beach, California. And so I did not grow up around people who were entrepreneurs or business owners. I mean, my dad was kind of an entrepreneur. That's when it landed him in prison, but he wasn't a legal entrepreneur, right? He was selling drugs and all kinds of stuff. So I didn't have experience to draw on. So when I was 18 years old, I decided not to go to college. I graduated high school, and I got offered an apprenticeship from a real life entrepreneur, a guy named Joel Salatin. And I had the choice, go to college or go learn from this guy. My stepdad, we didn't always get along growing up, but one thing he told me, he said, you can always go back to college later. You might not get this opportunity. So I went at age 19, and I did it was an almost 2-year apprenticeship where I lived on this guy. He was a farmer, but he was also an entrepreneur. He sold like organic food, grass-fed beef all around the world. He had at that time, I think it was $1 million-ish business. I don't remember the numbers, but he was very successful. And I began to learn from a person who was actually doing it, not a college professor who was being paid a salary to teach other people how to do it. This is somebody who didn't get a salary. He had to go out every single day and make his own money. And so to this day, going back to when I was 19, I keep that basic philosophy in life. I like to learn business from people who have done it. And now I'm at a stage where I do it myself and I share with people like, yo, here's what's working, here's what's not working. I can tell you a lot of stuff that's not working right now, by the way. Before I get into this PAA, let me just say, what's not working, because it's important to know if you want to diversify your income. I see a lot of people saying a lot of things. And through troubled times, it becomes harder to make things work. Look at the current environment right now. Not everybody's hiring, number one. It's going to be hard to get a job right now, especially if times get tougher, recession comes even deeper. First thing people do is freeze hiring. I have a friend who has an IT company. He provides computer programmers for businesses. One of his customers, guess who it is? Carnival Cruise Line. That's bad for business. His income has gone down. So I will tell you, when you rely on only one customer, you're also in trouble. So businesses that don't have a lot of customers, that don't have variety of customers. So there's a lot of people out there that just the second this government shutdown comes, or businesses shut down, or Carnival Cruise Line shuts down, they lose everything. And so you got to be really careful you're not starting a business that's relying on a very narrow segment of the population. That's a great way to go broke too. For me, I have customers, okay? I've tried to build business. I haven't done everything perfectly by any means, but I've built businesses, the antidote or the solution is like I've built businesses that have sales in 190 countries, all age groups, okay, all price points. So what doesn't work, sorry, my misspelling there, what doesn't work is the opposite of this. So if you are only selling into one country, you're more vulnerable. If you're focused on one target age group, for example, last month, if you saw the news, Forever 21, the big clothing line, was for sale, and I was one of the people trying to buy it. It ended up, I was the second highest person there trying to buy it. The highest bidder was a big multi-billion-dollar company called Simon Properties. They bid hundreds of millions of dollars. The news said 81 million, but that's not true. It's not the real price. Reporters are often idiots. So in that case, one of their vulnerabilities is Forever 21, almost all their customers was a very narrow base of customers between, let's say, 16 and 26, most of Forever 21's customers. So guess what? The guy had become a multi-billionaire from the brand, but when that age group started shopping in different ways, guess what happened? You go broke. You go from billionaire to broke. That's what happened with the founders of Forever 21. So what doesn't work, like I said, is only one country, only one age, only one price point. So another company that's getting killed right now, for example, luxury brands. Imagine right now, Louis Vuitton. So Louis Vuitton, number one, they sell luxury stuff, very high price point. That does well when there's not a recession. When people have lots of money, they buy Louis Vuitton. What do you think the first thing people are going to stop buying? Louis Vuitton. Number two, they were focusing on China as the source of their growth. Only one country. Do you think that that's going well for them right now? You think a lot of people in China are going shopping? These towns are ghost towns. And so you could see that this is a business that's very, very vulnerable. And if you start looking at, the stock price of Carnival Cruise Lines is another one. They rely on older people. Most young people don't go on cruises. Okay, Carnival Cruise Line is all old people. You think it's a good time right now for old people to be getting on cruises? No. So guess what happens? If you look at their stock chart here in the last 6 months, their stock was $51 in January. Okay, and what's it at today? $17. It's insanity. At its peak, it was looks like around $64, $65. So if you look at the market cap today, the market cap's 12 billion. It used to be triple that. You know, this is a company that used to be worth 35, 40 billion dollars. Evaporates overnight. Now, you're probably not going to build a company as big as Carnival Cruise, but I'm just giving you an example of what not to do right now. So for me, as I'm building businesses or buying businesses, you know, what I try to do is basically the opposite of all things. You know, multi-country. And I want you to do the same. All age groups. I have people, if you look even on this Zoom call right now, I see people who are clearly in their 60s, and I see people who are clearly in their, you know, teens. There's men, women, there's US, Canada, Europe, and that's a safer way for you to build your future. Now, let's talk about a specific new business test group that I'm launching, and I'm launching it today. I got to go here in a little bit. I'm actually headed to my farms to kind of hunker down a little bit. Let me answer any questions. I see there's all these chat questions, so let me pop open. Where is the damn chat? Why do I not see it? Give me a second. If I can grab it. This bar's not holding right now. Zoom, by the way, is gonna, okay, here we go. Here's some questions. What do I think about water, waste operation trades? That's what I'm studying. What can we do to create a new source of income? How do you get to those bids for those businesses? Yeah, I'm bidding on big companies. That's harder for you guys to do. For now, you're a better chance is to start a home-based business now, okay? Stock picks, be careful with the stock market right now. Be very careful with the stock market, you know? Okay. I think everybody has audio. So I just got the ecom course not too long ago. It's good stuff. Can't wait to get started. Okay. Let's go to this, what I was talking about as a solution. So going back to my story, like I didn't know any of this stuff. I had one source of income. I remember having a job at Office America. It doesn't even exist anymore. It went bankrupt. It was like Staples. And I hated it. I remember like looking at my watch all the time and just going, and it was like, looked at my watch and there was still 7.5 hours of an 8-hour shift. And then I'd look at it, I would look at it every 5 minutes. I hated that job. And at that point I was like, I'm gonna figure out a way. I'd rather be homeless than have a job that just grinds my brain into the dirt. And so that's what I've done. I've spent my life, you know, it's not always been easy. It's been challenging at times, but I'm all about building my own income. And like I said, things can be rough, but they're not. I look at my friends that chose a different path and I wouldn't want to be them. You know, it's a good way to know if you're on the right track. Ask yourself, would you want to be them? And at this point of my life, I'm like, no, I would not. And it's not that I look down on them. It's just like, I'm like, damn, they're not happy. So let's talk about this new test group and why I'm launching it, and how it solves a lot of these problems, okay? So this test group that I'm launching today, okay, never talked about it before, for this PAA program. So PAA stands for Profit Acceleration Agency. Now, here's how to think about this, okay? right now, businesses are in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. Restaurants, people are going to restaurants right now. Malls are in trouble. Everybody's in trouble right now. Okay. And so there's a niche for you right now. There's a way for you to hop on and get businesses paying you. So how do you get businesses paying you $1,000 to $10,000 a month, okay, to help them accelerate profit? And right now they're going to be begging for this. Really, there's going to be millions of businesses that are this close to bankruptcy in the next 2 to 6 months. There already are right now. Millions, just in the United States. We know this is bad in Europe. We know this is bad in Australia. We know this is bad everywhere. Italy shutting down. It's not, France has already shut down most of its businesses. Spain the same way. But they're not shutting down, just notice, not shutting down online. Okay? They are not shutting down online at all. So, guess what? That's where you come in. I'm going to train you how to go to these businesses, charge them a fee, plus take a percentage. Okay? And what you're going to do is 2 things. But the simplest is you're going to use the phone. Let me just make this large caps. The phone. The phone right now is the one thing that's not going to get shut down. If people quarantine, people are going to still have the phone. If you look at American Airlines, I sent an email. I guess I'm an American Airlines frequent flyer or something. I got an email from American Airlines saying our phone lines are inundated. So you can't go to an airport in a lot of places now, but they're still taking phone calls. So what you're going to do, and I'm going to draw this out to kind of make this simpler, okay, is you're going to find businesses. E-commerce is still good. Still good. The world's not shutting down online, okay? And you're going to use an old school tactic, which is the phone, to make them more money. And then guess what? They're going to split that money with you. Does that make sense? So, sorry, somebody's pinging me. Let me give you an example. Let's just make up a store. I'll even take some chats here. What's a business around you? Maybe a parent owns it, an uncle owns it, a friend owns it. Let's take some chats here. What's a business that we could get? Just anything. It could be a restaurant. It could be a dry cleaner. It could be a business consultancy. That's actually, it could be a dentist. It could be a doctor. It could be a realtor. It could be a somebody who owns a mall. Someone owns a clothing brand. What's a business that some of you have? And I'm going to show you how you can use a PAA to increase their income. And by doing that, you get a fee. And you only need like 5 businesses that you do this for, and you can be making $5,000 to $10,000 a month. And I'm going to show you a little technique that I like where you don't actually have to do the phone calls. So let me give you an example. I'll give you a real life example. Right now, I'm launching a supplement company. Okay. So let's just use this as an example. Supplement company. So we run ads online. You probably see ads all the time. So one of you could actually be a profit accelerator agency for my new supplement company. It's called 67 Supplements, believe it or not. It's like 67 steps. So it's kind of the brand. Okay, so that's the name of it. So right now I'm running ads online and people buy the product. So let's say they bought bottle of, I don't know, pre-workout. Okay, so they buy that for 25 bucks. So let's say they buy a bottle of pre-workout for $25. Now, me as a business owner, I might have spent $20 on ads. So my profit is low. Profit is 25 bucks minus 20 in costs. That's not even counting my other costs. But let's just call it my marketing and the cost of the supplement, okay? So my profit is 5 bucks. It's not great. It's not great. 5 bucks? I'm gonna have to sell thousands of bottles a day to just pay the bills. So what I need is one of you guys who have your own business, your own PAA, to come in and say, hey, Tai, every single person who buys from you, within 5 minutes, they'll get a phone call from us, or the same day, or within 24 hours. And we'll call them and we'll say, hey, just doing an order confirmation, making sure that you ordered, 1 bottle of pre-workout, making sure your address is 333 Acme Street in Michigan. And oh, by the way, I don't know if you saw this on the website, but if you bought the pre-workout supplements, did you consider getting the post-workout supplements? Because you have now what you use when you're about to work out, but when you're done working out, your muscles need a different supplement. And the person on the phone might be like, no, I never heard of that. And they say, look, I can get you, since you're a customer, I can get you a discount. I can use the card you already have on file, or we can take a new card. And I can go ahead and process an order, and I won't charge any shipping. Since you're already getting a box from us with the pre-workout vitamins, let me get you the post-workout. And let's say they say no. Okay, you call the next person. Not necessarily you, but somebody working for you calls them. And every 3 people you call, 1 says yes. Okay, and let's say you sell a bottle for another 25 bucks. So every 3 people, 1 person buys $25 more of stuff. That adds 25 divided by 3 calls is $8 approximately. So now this company, my company, if my company hired you to be my PAA, I would go from making $5 per order, damn it, there we go, to making 5 plus 8. A lot better. In fact, you more than doubled my profit. I was going to make 5, and now I made 13, not quite triple the profits. And I'll say to you, so let's say one of you has a PAA, okay? Here's somebody named Jose. So Jose, I say to Jose, and I go, he has his Jose Profit Acceleration Agency. So at the end of the week, Jose said, Tai, me and my phone team sold 100 bottles for you at 25 bucks. Okay? You pay us by the hour for the phone calls. So let's say that's $1,000 bucks you charge. So I would pay you $1,000 check, Jose's Profit Acceleration, for the time calling, plus I'd split a little bit of the profit. So you sold, let's say, 100 bottles at $25 a piece. That's 2,500 bucks. And I give you, I don't know, 20% of the profit, right? So 25, I write you a check for $500 more. So this week, I write you a check for 1,500 bucks to your agency. Now you pay your phone salespeople and you keep the difference. That's from 1 customer. And if you do it right, I'll show you how to hire salespeople to do, if you don't like the thought of you, because if you're an extrovert, you might want to do the phone calls yourself. You could run this Profit Acceleration Agency as a 1-person business. Or for those of you who are more ambitious, I'll show you how to advertise online. Everybody's going to be looking for jobs right now, especially jobs they can do from home. Some of you, I have a friend, okay? I won't say his last. My friend, his actual name is Dave, so I'll use that as a pretty common name. He has 500 phone sales guys and women. He has 5 call centers. All right. And him and his business partner, they have 5 call centers actually around the world. They have them in the US, they have them in Europe, Asia, and so on. And they specialize in medical. So they do the phone calls for doctors and cosmetic surgeons and things like that. And I mean, these guys print money. Many, many, many millions of dollars profit he puts in his pocket every year. Okay. Now, I'm not saying you're going to build a profit acceleration agency as big as my friend Dave. Okay. You don't need to build this to 500 people, but you might build it to 15 people. 15. And you know the beauty of this? I'm going to show you the beauty of this business. And this is one of the things I like about this. Okay, if you start a social media marketing agency, which I love, by the way, it still works. This, by the way, if you own a social media marketing agency, this is another business you can add to your same business. Another stream of income. You can have your social media marketing agency, and you can have a phone profit acceleration agency. Okay, we can call it a PPAA, a phone profit acceleration agency. So you become the phone center. Now, there's other alternative ways to make money. I have a friend that I outsource my phone calls. If you call one of my businesses, it redirects to his phone center, and his phone center has about 400 people, and they answer the phone, and I pay him. He makes money from me, my business is paying him. I outsource my phone calls because I used to try to do it in-house. It's a pain in the butt. So you become the phone center for businesses. And I can tell you that they pay you, and they will pay you. I know because I pay for it. And believe it or not, I actually do it for some of my businesses. I have a phone profit acceleration agency that I actually, for other businesses that I have, I actually outsourced it to a different business that I have. So my own businesses kind of cross promote each other. But that gets more complicated. Keep it simple. Right here, this phone, I promise you, if you build this thing right, and I'm going to teach you how to do it, you need to have the right software. You need to form the right kind of company. We'll talk about if you should form an LLC or an S Corp or a C Corp. We'll talk about if you need to be registered. In some states, you need to go through some registration. I will show you how to get people. If you don't want to do the phone calls yourself, I'll show you how to hire people. So let me show you what you're going to get, what you will learn. So how to set up the company legally, how to hire phone agents, that's what you call them, under you. I will show you the software to use, how to get paying clients, okay, to pay you. I'm going to also show you, and I think this is the most important part is right here, how to get paying clients. That's the most important. You can do everything else well, but if you don't have paying clients, it's not going to work well. And I'm going to show you one of the things with the software. I'll show you how to not pay for it. Sometimes you don't have to pay for it. You can push the cost onto the businesses themselves, if that makes sense. So what you can do is you can basically say to them, look, to handle your business, here's the software I'm going to need, here's the cost, and you can just pass the cost on to them. Right now, just so you know, I have like 10 different companies. If one of you had a PPAA, a phone profit acceleration agency, and you were good, I would hire you. I need more of these. It's a full-time job that I don't have time to do with my businesses. I'll show you how to manage the people. And the good thing is, show you how to do it remotely. It's so important right now. It's very, very important to do this thing from home, because who knows when offices and office buildings are going to come back to normal. So I just want to run through kind of the numbers. So if you do it right, each client should gross, okay, 5,000, should pay you, and this is gross, pay you 5,000 a month, okay, when you combine hourly pay plus you're going to ask them for profit share. And the profit share amount we'll talk about in the group what to ask for. You don't want to ask for 50% profit share usually, or 80%. You also don't want to ask for 2% because that's too low. So we'll talk about that. But each client should pay you $5,000 a month gross. That's what you receive. And your expenses, you want to keep them at no more than $3,000. Remember, now if you do the work yourself, you don't even have to pay anybody. But if you build a phone center and you have people working for you around the globe, you're going to need to pay them, right? They're doing the work, you're just managing the business. So your expenses should be $3,000. So you should be netting about $2,000 a month. That's the goal. So you want 5 clients and you're at 10 G's a month, 10,000 US. And that, not everybody's going to do that, but some people will do a lot more than that. That's not outrageous. 5 customers. I mean, if you do it right, let's say you become, and there's ways to even accelerate this. I don't have time to talk about. There's so many things you can do. One thing you can do is use your social media marketing agency to run Facebook ads for the business, drive the people to a landing page where they put in their phone call, and then your phone profit acceleration agency can call the people on behalf of the business. So let me give you an example. Here's a good example. Good example. Watch this. Let's take a cosmetic dentist. Okay. So if you want to get more advanced, let's say they run ads on Facebook to get leads. Well, guess what most people do? These dentists are just saying, fill out a form and we'll email you and you can come into our office. Well, that doesn't make a lot of money. People need to be pushed because people procrastinate, they forget about it. Not pushed in a weird way, in a nasty way, but people need to be reminded. So they run it, but they don't call the people. And one thing is that if you call someone within 5 minutes of them filling out a form on their website, you get about 10 times more conversion rate. So here's where dentists do it wrong. What do? They have people fill out forms and then they only email them or they call them 2 days later. Like, let's say somebody fills out a form on Saturday and they're not there and their office is closed. They don't call them till Monday. By Monday, that customer might have filled out 3 other forms or forgot what they were doing. A lot of people browse late at night and they're looking and they're like, oh. So would you step in with your PPAA, or sometimes I just call it PAA, the Profit Acceleration Agency. You basically go to the dentist. You say, every time somebody fills out a form, I'll use software to instantly redirect it to one of my phone agents. Your phone agents will call them within 5 minutes. As I listen to myself talk about this, let me just tell you, this is a good damn idea. This is a good business idea. Let me repeat, this isn't some bullshit idea that there's no chance. There's so many things I see people launch businesses and I'm just like, oh man, that's never going to work. I feel bad for you. I see it a lot with e-com, you know. E-com, you can make money in e-com. Make no mistake. I make a lot of money in e-com every day. I mean, I do major e-com volume. But it's hard to start. You know, people are like, oh, I'm just going to drop ship from China. Well, now shit's not even coming from China. Your best, let me just repeat this. Your best, safest, easiest way to start your business is to start a business that supports other businesses, an agency. If your phone agents will call this example cosmetic dentist all of their leads that hit their website within 5 minutes, and then you tell that dentist, okay, we charge by the hour, whatever, 15 bucks an hour. So if we spend 1 hour on the phone, my phone agents have software, they track it. They answer the phone, you know, they talk for 10 minutes here, 30 minutes here. We track it. You can give them a report. Okay, we spent 120 minutes on the phone on Saturday. That's 2 hours, so that's $30 charge. And you use that money, by the way, to pay your phone agents. And then you say, and we got you 3 reservations for this week, people coming in, 3 appointments to get, you know, how they have, like, you come into the cosmetic dentist or surgeon and they show you what they're going to do. And you say, for each of these 3, we get 500 bucks. And a dentist will gladly pay you good money if you're sending people, qualified people, into his office, because the average dentist might make, you know, $7,000 on one surgery. So if you send them 10 people, you know, and 3 of them convert, you just made the guy $21,000. And for you, you might charge $5,000. $5,000 goes to you. And then the guy keeps, you know, 18 grand or whatever, 17 grand, 15 grand. So it's just a good concept. Now, the key thing for a PAA, just so you know, is that you got to know there's a couple pitfalls, and you can try, by the way, you can just build this on your own. You don't even need to get in my test group if you understand the software, if you understand how to get clients. Some of you are natural salespeople, and you're just going to take this idea and just run with it. And that's great. Not everybody, so many people started, like 50,000 people or more went through my SMMA program, to train them how to build their own social media agency. Another like 50,000 just took my free videos and did their best. And so it's up to you. For me, I like to pay to learn faster. To me, it's worth it. So if you want to get in my paid test group, you can. If not, you can just take this free. I've given you an example exactly of an ideal customer. Cosmetic dentist is a great one. I'll tell you another great one right now. Just to give you another example, realtors. Okay, realtor. So realtor, right now, mortgage rates are going down. A lot of people are going to try to sell their home because they want to get cash. Maybe it's a recession and they have too big of a house. So houses are going to start coming up. Realtors are always hustling. So your agency, your PAA agency, answers the phone for a realtor. So easy. These realtors, same thing. They have clients calling them. By the way, you don't only have to do outbound. It's called inbound and outbound sales. Okay, so you have inbound, by the way, and I teach more on this in this program. The program's coming out this week. It's the weekend now. The program will be out this week. So those of you who want to get in the test group, this is your chance to get in. I'm going to put a link up here in a few minutes. I got to leave in a few minutes. I'm driving, but so you got inbound and outbound. So you can get paid for a realtor's inbound phones. Basically mean, you know, people call the realtor who are existing clients, and the realtor doesn't want to always answer their phone nonstop. So you tell them, hey, for 15 bucks an hour or 20 bucks an hour, we'll answer the phone for you and text you or email you the messages. That way, it's a nice touch. You call a realtor, and you're like, hello, this is, you know, Susie Realtor office. How can I help you? And the person's like, hey, Susie's my realtor and blah, blah, blah. Like, I want to blankety blank, whatever that might be. I need to talk to them on the phone. You're like, okay, Susie's, not available, but let me text her and call her right now if this is urgent. And so you're providing a service for a Susie. She doesn't have to answer her phone. And it's, $15 an hour. And you have those phones routed to a person, a phone agency, a phone agent who's underneath you. And outbound sales, sorry, not onbound, outbound is when somebody fills out a form and you call people to sell people into something. So for example, somebody fills out Susie Realtor. I'm interested in you, Susie, listing my house for me. They fill it out. Susie's busy, she's asleep, or she's with her kids, or with whatever she's doing. Your PAA, picks up the phone and says, hey, my name is John. I work with Susie the Realtor. I saw you just filled out our website. You're interested in us listing your home. Can I get a little more details? What kind of home do you have? What price range are you thinking? What neighborhood it is? Blah, blah, blah. And you get all this information and you set up a appointment. You say, okay, I'm going to have Susie come by your house. What days are good? Maybe you have a shared calendar with Susie. So you're like, okay, Wednesday, she has availability at 4:30. Can she stop by your office? And so Susie says, the customer, whoever the customer is, says, sure. And now you set an appointment for Susie. And you, as your PAA, that phone call, let's say, took 20 minutes. So you charge them by the minute. You charge Susie by the minute. And you say, for every appointment I set for you, we get $200. So now, imagine this. People working for you all around the world on their phone from home. And while you're sleeping, your phone agents that you manage are making calls for you, making calls for your customer, and bringing you money while you sleep. I'm not saying, by the way, you're not going to have to do work. You're going to have to manage the people. And we all know managing people is a little bit of a pain in the butt. But someone said, what's the difference between this and a call center? So this is similar to call center, but I have so many more tricks up my sleeve that you can value add and make more money. As I said right here, you can run the ads on Facebook for them, for the cosmetic surgeon. So you can now, so a regular call center just answers the phone, but you can add other things that I'll teach you in this test group, like how to run the Facebook ads and create the funnels for the realtor. So this is a perfect business for those of you who are in my other programs, or those of you who are just starting from scratch. Either way, this one works. And a cool thing is you could do this from anywhere in the world. I recommend you try to get customers within the US to start, but you could live in Timbuktu, man. As long as you could speak English, you can sell into America. And if you can't speak English and you only speak Spanish or something, then just get customers, businesses to pay you who all their customers speak Spanish. Or if you speak Chinese, great. There's a lot of businesses in America that cater to the Chinese. So the fact that you speak Chinese, you can actually charge a premium. No matter how you do this, this is a solid business. And as I said, if you look at the numbers that are totally realistic, okay, you want to get each customer, and you might have some customers that only make you 1,000 gross a month. Okay, but I'm saying on average, a good customer should make you 5,000. And your expenses should be 50 to 60%, okay, which means you're netting 40%. 40% of 5,000 is $2,000. Yeah, someone said last company I worked for, it was a call center and they had international clients and there's 7,000 person company. I know. What I'm trying to do is say, stop letting these big phone centers make all the money. This is the perfect business for you to do out of your house. Literally, you can do this out of your house right now when the whole world's on quarantine. Remember, not all businesses are shut down. Not all businesses are shut down. And even if the world shuts down, it's not going to shut down for years. Probably most likely going to shut down for weeks or months. And during that time, You could have your agency up and going. And I'm going to tell you this, businesses, when everything gets back to normal in the next weeks, months, whatever it is, they are going to be hurting. They're going to be trying to make every extra dollar that they can. And you can do that for them. So I'm going to put up, like I said, I got to go in 9 minutes. I want to answer some questions. But if you want to get in the test group, okay, to get in this test group, I'm going to just put a link here. Let me make sure I give you the right link. Where is my link here? Okay, it's good old www. You don't even have to type that anymore. TaiLopez.com, and you just put in PAA. Pretty easy to remember. Literally, you type in PAA. That's it. Now, let's talk about the price. That's something that people remember. When I make these test groups, like when I made SMMA, I remember when I launched SMMA, it was October 2016, about 3.5, 4 years ago. And I remember launching it and people being like, and that was $1,000. Some people were like, oh man, like, I don't think this is worth it. This sounds like a scam. And then people started realizing it worked. And then like, it took like 2 years for people to realize that it worked. And by then, like the people who got in early just crushed it. And people were like, damn it, I should have gone in at the beginning. And I'm like, well, scared money don't make money, my friend. Scared money don't make money. Now you can compare this. What are your other options? By the way, for those of you saying you don't have enough money to get in, that's fine. Just start a PAA on your own. You can, I've given you as much info as I can give you in 45 minutes. And you can figure it out and kind of piece it together and build it by trial and error. For those of you who want to jump start and get in and learn this very quickly, you know, it starts this coming week. You can get in the paid version. I mean, I don't know what to say. The reason, by the way, I charge money is because I actually put a lot of time, energy in and effort, and we fly in other, I'm not going to teach all this because I'm not an expert in I'm not an expert in the phone center software, for example. We use the software, but it's not my expertise. So I'm bringing in, flying in people that are going to be teaching you with specific expertise. So that costs me money, you know, so that's a very important thing. So you go to tailopez.com/PAA. And I know some of you have no money, and that's not a problem. But for those of you, just think of this. People right now, today, are at NYU Business School. New York, it's in New York City. They're at Stern Business School. It's $30,000 a year and takes up all your time. $120,000 to get a bachelor degree. This thing's not even $500. I don't know how to make it that much cheaper. I mean, I could charge, you know, 1 cent. Here's the problem with not charging any money in my life experience. I've done no money programs. In fact, before the 67 steps, I had some programs where I was just like, I'll teach you for free. People don't take it seriously. They don't even show up. Like YouTube, there's thousands of YouTube videos on how to start businesses, and not many people watch them, and very rarely do I rarely meet somebody that's like, Tai, I watched a video on YouTube and I launched a business. No, you don't. Number one, most of the things on YouTube that I've seen are incomplete. It's just somebody records one video on how to sell on Amazon or one video on how to do e-com. Or they even record 10 videos, but the problem, it's always only from one person's perspective. If you notice in my courses, I bring in like 10 different people that are doing this. So it's not just me. Like I told you, my buddy Dave, he's going to teach him this. And he's probably made $100 million from a PAA. $100 million bucks. I have 2 people that are going to teach actually that have done that level. So they think they're going to teach on YouTube. They don't even have YouTube channels, man. They don't. Most people that make money don't have a YouTube channel. There are a few. There are some people, but it's not that easy to get free info. I've looked. If it was so easy, everybody would be doing it, man. So if you want to get in, like, get in. If you don't, I mean, I don't like to convince people that much. I have the track record of training hundreds of thousands of people. I have more people that have gone through my programs than graduated in UCLA. I mean, gone through UCLA in the last 5 years. I'm not saying I'm better than UCLA. I'm just saying we have trained hundreds of thousands of people. Not everybody gets success, but it's just like college. Not everybody who gets a college, 99% of people who get a college degree don't even use the degree unless they're like a doctor or lawyer. You think most of the people getting art history degrees go on to use that art history? How about people who get English degrees? They already speak English, by the way. That's something. You think most people with English degrees go on to become amazing writers like Stephen King or J.K. Rowling? I don't even think J.K. Rowling has a college degree. She made $1 billion writing Harry Potter. I'm pretty sure so my point is, like, here's the options you have now. Do nothing. You can listen to this and be like, okay, it was good information. Awesome. Do nothing. That's what most people do, by the way. Option number 2 is you can do this you can just go be like, I'm not going to get in a test group. I'm going to do it on my own. I'm happy. People still call me and go, hey, Ty, I never got your paid programs, but I built success. I still love hearing those stories. It's not depressing to me or something. It's not like my main goal in life is people to only have success through my stuff. That's not how my brain thinks. But the easier path, and I promise you it's easier, is to get somebody to walk you through this. If you haven't built, it's kind of like building a house. If you want to build a house for yourself, so you just go out and like grab a hammer and start building. And I'm like, have you ever built a house? And you're like, no. I'm like, that house ain't gonna look very good. Learn from somebody who's been doing it for years. My phone team that works in my businesses has generated tens of millions of dollars. So I've managed a phone team just like a PAA for my own businesses for I don't know how many. I started like over 10 years, and they've generated, I would guess, like 30 to 40 million extra profit for my businesses, or revenue. I'd have to look at the exact margin. Let's just call it whatever, 30 to 50 million dollars has been generated from the phones. And so if you want to build a house, you can build it on your own the first time, or you can literally just get somebody who's built a ton of houses to show you how to do it. And it's insane how few people get that. I get people every day who are like, oh, you don't need books, you don't need mentors, like you just go out and do it. And I'm like, yeah, you do it wrong for a long time and you eventually figure it out, but you waste a decade. Some people don't understand the value of time. Time's the only thing you can't get back with money, my friend. You can get everything, almost everything in this world, money will help you with, but it doesn't help with time. And so if this course can save you 5-10 years in building a profit acceleration agency, you'll thank me. And no amount of money, is worth wasting 5 years in my life. So let me answer a few kind of common questions, okay? Just before I wrap up. All right, so common question number 1 that I've already seen in the chat. Number 1 is, can I do this from anywhere? And my answer is yes, with one exception. Ideally, you need to speak decent English, because you can hire agents under you that are fluent in English, but you need to speak. If you know no English, this is going to be tough. or if you speak English like a caveman, this is tough. So my advice to you is, like, take a couple English courses if your English sucks. You're not gonna have a great experience managing American agents or building your business or getting customers if you have first grade English. So, but it doesn't matter where you live. That's the good thing. Because it's on the phone, nobody knows where the phone goes. I was in, I used to live in Scandinavia, and I was in Scandinavia. I posted this, you might remember, a couple of years ago on my social media, and there was a guy there, an American, traveling around the world, and he had a similar to like a profit acceleration agency. It was a tad bit different, but similar. He had customers, and one of his customers was like LAPD, like Los Angeles Police Department. He did their web stuff for him. And I was just talking to him, and I go, like, how's traveling and running that business? He's like, oh, I've been traveling for 2 years. I said, does the sheriff department know that you're not even in America and you're handling their business? He goes, nope. I have a 1-800 number on my website. They just call me, and it redirects her to my cell phone while I'm in Sweden, while I'm in France, while I'm in Norway. And he was just making money, traveling the world. I think he was making not crazy numbers. He was making like $20,000, $30,000 a month profit, just chilling all around the world using his phone. And so, yes, but he spoke good English. So that's the one thing. If you're English, you don't have to be fluent, but you have to be, like, on a scale of 1, you have to have at least like high school level English or 9th grade, 8th, 9th grade. Age. As long as you can, Bill Gates closed his biggest deal while he was a teenager on the phone. That deal kind of dominoed into him becoming the richest man in the world for 20 years. As long as you legally can do it, for example, if you're 8 years old, it's going to be hard to do this because you can't open a bank account. You can't legally sign contracts without your parents. But there is an 8-year-old who built a YouTube channel last year and made $20 million. Okay, Devontae says, calling people. What are you calling for? So good question. Your agency calls on behalf of other businesses that pay you to call for them or answer the phone for them. Okay? And yes, you can do it in any language, because I was just saying, for the program that I have, it's better if you speak English. But yes, you can modify this into any language, Swahili if you want. Is there lifetime access? So this is 1 year access, which is all you need. I mean, if you can't figure this out in a year, you might as well do something else. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about refund. Real simple. Real simple. It's just like the SMMA. Go through this program. If you don't get a customer within the first 90 days, okay, and you actually went through, if you don't get, oops, my keyboard, you don't get a paying customer within 90 days, you can have a full refund. Now, just to be clear, you have to have looked and gone through the materials. Some people never open the materials and are like, hey, I didn't get a customer. I'm like, you didn't even open one video. Like, let's all have a little common sense. Okay? So you got to go through the material. It's very easy. It's simple material. You can listen to it. We have audio and video version. Okay? So one other thing. I see a whole bunch of questions, calling people and saying, what? I answered that. We join you, provide the company to work for. Lifetime access. I'm from Croatia, and the company I work for has clients in the US. Yep. So Arian, you already do this. Oh, okay. So this test group, I'm going to keep it open, this first test group. So with these test groups, just so you know, I launched these test groups. A lot of them I close and don't ever do another test group just because I get busy and do other things. So I'm going to keep it up for the next 24 hours. And then this link here, this link to the first test group won't work. Will be taken down. Okay? So I kind of do these, let's see. Okay. In execution, it sounds like we have to front some money to cover calling costs prior to billing. No, man, I'm going to show you. Get people to pay you, man. Don't be afraid. Businesses have damn money. People, it's funny. When I was broke, let me just end by saying this. Businesses have tons of money. Okay? Most of the world. This is where you guys go wrong starting a business. You try to make your first business about selling to people, individual people. Individuals don't have money. Businesses do. Most of the money in the world is controlled by businesses. You see what I'm saying? So the reason this is going to work is because it's not that hard to get a business owner to agree to pay you $20, $25 an hour to answer the phones for them. What's their other choice? They're going to have to hire somebody. You see what I'm saying? You can even charge more. You can charge 40 bucks an hour. It depends on the niche you go into. If you go after cosmetic surgeon, you think a cosmetic surgeon is going to build his own phone call center? They don't want to do that. They're doing surgery. They're going to outsource it to you. They will outsource to you. They want to outsource. They literally want to outsource to you. They want. I have businesses. There's not, by the way, I end up always having to build my own phone team because there's not enough of them out there. This is just like SMMA. You're catching it at the beginning, man. At the beginning. And so, yeah, it's just, this is a damn good idea. Not all of you will see it, but some of you will. Wadi, by the way, welcome to the group here, my friend. Wadi, you're in Mexico. Cool. So Wadi in Mexico, by the way, one of my businesses, I use a call center out of Mexico. This is a great business to build if you're in Mexico. Really, if you can find people who speak English, there's a lot of people, believe it or not, who got deported from America who speak English. And my friend built a whole call center out of people who got deported by Trump, but they were like Americans. They had lived in America for like 15 years and they got deported. He just built a call center in Tijuana and he's killing it. Here's the thing people don't realize. Once you build up your system, you build up your management, you got your software, while you sleep, those phones are ringing and you're every minute that you're answering the phone, that your team, your company's answering the phone, you are getting a check for. Bam, bam. And you can charge them ahead of time. You really can. So this is a solid business, man. Solid. As good as anything I've ever launched. You can do this. Peak says, or is it Peak or Reek? Oh, Reek says you're in London. Perfect business. An English accent. Those of you in England, Australia, you can do this for American companies. Two of my top salespeople in my companies have English and Australian accents. People love it. You can even charge more. So you can charge people more and just hire people out of Australia. It is a solid business. Like if my brother was asking me, I have 6 brothers, and they're like, what's a good business to start? I'm like, this one right here is going to do well. Will do very well in the coming recession. It will do very well. A lot of businesses aren't going to do well. Stuart says there's large call centers in South Africa. Exactly. South Africa is a great thing. South Africa has a great accent. One's from Brownsville, or 2 call centers there. Hey, don't let those big call centers make all the money. Some of those call centers make $5 million a month, $10 million a month. If you just take 10% of that, think how well you'll be doing. Fabian says, does it work for Germany? Oh, yeah. Any country. I can't think of a country this won't work for, except for countries that are very poor. That, you know, like I've been to some parts of the world, very poor countries, the business owners there don't have much money. But any place, for the most part, Western world. I don't know how to do this for China. I don't know Asia really well, but I mean, this works for, if you take the United States, and by the way, this will work in South America, crazy amount in South America too. So it's a good damn business. It is good. I'll be training starting this week. So when you get in today, we'll be releasing the first content here coming up this week. So you got 24 hours to get in. You want to be in this first test group? Let's go. This is the deciding group. And so, yeah, I got to go here. But any last questions? I'll take 2 or 3 more minutes. Todd, if you could summarize the business in 1 sentence. Yep. You get business owners to pay you $1,000 to $10,000 a month to handle their phone. That's it. Summary, simplest summary ever. You get business owners to pay you $1,000 to $10,000 US a month to manage their phones. Okay? Couldn't get on till late. Thank you, Tyler. The value delivered is 45 minutes. I mean it. I decided to watch this over Netflix. I'm blown away. Good. Well, it's a good choice, man. Netflix is good, but limit that stuff. You mentioned there's software we would use. Yeah, there's software you can use to start managing. If you build a bigger agency, you can start out just using your cell phone and you answering the phone for businesses. That's a simple way to get started. You want to start making 20, 30, 40 bucks an hour? Boom, just you handle the phone. If you can make 40 bucks an hour, that's 80,000 bucks a year. You could do, or you and your wife, or you and your husband. And then you can grow. You don't even need software for that. Best industries to look at, like I said, I would look at realtors. I would look at financial planners, insurance agents. I would go after landscaping companies, roofing companies, construction companies, cosmetic surgeons, dentists are amazing. Any kind of any high ticket revenue business. So a bit, e-com companies. I would be calling e-com companies that are selling clothing, they're selling fitness stuff, they're selling supplements. I gave that. And say, let me handle everybody who calls your phone number. I'll handle that. Plus, let me call everybody who buys. That's called inbound. And let me do outbound calls to every single person who buys from you. How much capital is needed to launch it? Under $1,000 bucks. You know, get it. If you want to do it with my program, it's like 500 bucks. You can start it with no money. Really, as long as you have a phone and an internet connection, you're good to go. That's the beauty of this program is like, yeah, you just need basically a phone and everybody has a phone. So go right here. If you want to get in the test group, you go to tailopez.com/PAA. You know the cool thing about this? This is hot. This is new, man. This is the next big thing. My SMMA is good. I mean, it still works every day for people, but it's more competitive now. I've personally trained 50,000 people to start an agency. So you've got 50,000 more competitors. This PAA, I just started today. Your only competitors are these huge guys that, remember this, your main competitors now are huge call centers, and they don't want smaller customers and medium-sized businesses. They just go after huge. They want to handle the phone for Delta Airlines and Amex. So if you just take medium-sized businesses that are doing 5 to 10 million in revenue, there's a niche for you to make, you know, $10,000 to $20,000 a month profit. Not everybody will, but imagine if you just start making an extra $2 or $3 grand. a month. You could do that from one customer. I've done this myself. This is not theoretical. It actually works. And that's kind of the important thing about this. So you got 24 hours, you got till basically midnight. I say 24 hours because we have people on from Hawaii and this and all these different time zones. So jump in the program. And is the new program same as SMMA 3.0? No, SMMA is social media. You're managing, getting paid for social media. Drop shipping is dead. Are you asking me? No, drop shipping is dead, but it's going to be interrupted right now, especially things out of China. And brands are the way to go anyway. So, okay, I'm going to run, and I appreciate your guys' time, and we will talk soon.